クレシカ、君は一体。
We could begin by slaughtering the inhabitants of this building, Master. Would that be impressive?
What's good, anime enthusiasts? Welcome to another episode and loop of Gnosia. And I have to say, this episode, it's all about Yuriko. And you want to know what the problem is? We don't get a whole much about Yuriko or what she wants to tell us, as said in the last episode. So, what happened?
This is what we call complete momentum denial, in which we're given a great follow-up and cannot follow through at all. It's a little bit painful coming off the last episode, I'm not gonna lie to you.
We call that a bait and switch. Because, yeah, we were baited in the last episode. Yuriko said, I will tell you the truth. And then we wake up next loop and we're like, wait, next loop? Yeah, next loop. Somehow we perished last loop, and now here's Yuriko imitating Setsu.
And I have to imagine everybody was surprised when Yuriko and Yuri both show up in a different loop, because we don't get to see what happens. We see Yuri sort of get up, he's sweating like normal, as though he were like either eliminated or made it to the end with like an enemy Gnosia or something like that. But we just don't know what he saw. And to my own dismay, I don't think we ever will.
Yeah, unless the storyboarders want to like do a flashback scene, possibly at the end of the next episode, to be like, oh, this is what Yuriko told Yuri before he got eliminated somehow. But at that point, I don't think that really matters, because in this episode, in this loop, Yuriko was supposed to tell us the truth, but unfortunately Yuriko turned it into a game. Get it? Gnosia? Game? Okay, I'll see myself out. But no, overall, I think this episode is definitely a step down. I'd say I don't think it's as I think it's on the same level as the one episode that made everyone feel about, because it was just a bunch of events. This one's on the same level was because that whole juxtaposition between the previous episode and the beginning of this episode, and denying us the flow, just abruptly cutting it off to switch focus to this little bit, and also what is revealed in this episode, as well as, dare I say, poorly, is what is implemented, kind of brings everything down, which is unfortunate, because we were kind of going strong at the end of the first half, but now in the beginning of the second half, we're kind of shaky, we're kind of rocky, and now we get to this episode. It's like, we're about to fall off the track.
Yeah, and I know we're breaking it up into two. Okay, so it's one core split into two, right? With the first 12 episodes coming out, and then like the second half coming out a little bit after that. And I feel like this second half feels like a soft reboot, right? Where before we would have been ramping up a little bit more, probably hitting like a major point of conflict very soon. Now it feels like we're trying to re-ramp back up to that same spot. And I'm not sure if that's the best. I'll have to be super cautious about my optimism here.
At the end of the episode review, I'm gonna blow your mind with the observation that I just had.
Ooh, that's gonna be fire.
Does it involve Setsu? Yes.
Oh no, never mind. I don't want to hear it. No.
It's not only is it a running joke, it's also kind of like maybe like a running theme that's gonna be going on with the Gnosia. But yeah, as we said, we wake up next loop. Yuriko is saying Setsu's famous line, "Do you understand?" And Yuriko is now our our guide, our handler. And of course, she is saying these very like omniscient, out of pocket lines, saying it's like, hey, we're about to go to this meeting to figure out who the Gnosia is. Though I'm sure you're no stranger to those. Huh? Yuriko, are you saying you know everything? Of course you are, because of what you said last episode. But now this Yuriko in this loop is also being that very omniscient, hey, I kind of know everything. And Yuri is like, bro, like, how or why do you know everything? And Yuriko's like, hey, survive this loop and I will tell you everything. Okay, so let's play the game. A full crew loop. Our second one, by the way. So we have our full 15. 3 of them are Gnosia. We have all 3 power roles in play. The Doctor, the Engineer, the Guardian Angel. And would you look at that, Yuriko is one of the confirmed humans on guard duty, as well as Otome. But hey, we're glad. We're kind of in the driver's seat this loop. Yuri is the engineer. Okay, let's go. Let's get going. Unfortunately, it's a day 1 scenario. There's just a bunch of chatter among all the characters, not lightly accusing each other, just trying to figure out who we need to vote out, who looks suspicious. And it gets to the point to where we talked about it, where you, JD, kind of said it. Because we have 2 confirmed people on guard duty, those 2 are very easy targets for the Gnosia to take down, because you don't have to worry about who's a doctor or who's a engineer or who might be human or Gnosia. Just take out the ones that are confirmed, keep the chaos and the suspicion spreading. And of course, the engineer and doctor don't come forward. Smart. We're learning.
I do have issues with this, just a little bit. Okay, so first, in the game, if you're on guard duty, Levi doesn't out you on day 1 like they do in the anime, right?
Okay.
Yeah, right. So like, the guard duty could like also stealth up like the engineer and the doctor, and just sort of keep information going until somebody like accuses them of being Gnosia, and then they could pop out and be like, psych, I was on guard duty this time, and my homie over there can confirm it. And then homie over there would be like, hey, yeah, that's true, bruh. And then you get definite enemy and kicked off the ship. That used to happen a lot. It's cool, right? I think what happens here, where like guard duty is always on the table and known, really, really hurts them. Which leads me into one other thing, specifically about confirming your role on day 1, right? So there is a world where you do want to claim engineer day 1 and doctor day 1, specifically so you can force the Gnosia out, right? But it's also so that the Gnosia has a limited target pool of who they want to focus down. Because if one engineer comes out with no contest, they immediately become like the ideal candidate for Guardian Angel, right? The idea with Gnosia immediately counterclaiming engineer is that, or no, the good part about the engineer immediately counterclaiming, or Gnosia immediately man, fuck, my bad here.
No.
There's so much. There's so much.
So here's when I ask you this, because now that you brought that up, the game, how do you now feel like this particular 15-man crew is starting to be more realistic, to where their roles are not being revealed immediately? We'll take the guard duty one out as the outlier, but think about this in a real scenario. Like, this is a day 1, like everybody's in a circle. The storyteller knows who the Gnosia are. The Gnosia knew who they are and who their teammates are. Engineer who knows who they are. Doctor knows who they are. And we'll take the guard duty out of this equation right now. But you say everybody wakes up day 1. Someone needs to go out. Discuss. Would you really want to come out?
No, I would pull an SQ. I would pull a Sha Ming. Sha Ming immediately goes to the corner. SQ says, the more I talk, the more likely I'm going to get shot. So I'm just going to not, right?
Yeah. So,
I'm with them.
Yes.
I need to preserve myself.
Yeah, so this is kind of like that scenario happening, being actualized in the anime. So would you want the anime to still be that game scenario where day 1 engineer has to come out and Gnosia have the counterplane to make it easy? Or do you want a lot more suspense and thrill now that we've already established the game sense in the beginning? We can start to like peel away from it and take our slightly own identity and try to mix in the more social aspect.
I definitely hear what you're saying, right? I think of it less of a gamifying angle. My argument actually for immediately revealing Engineer and Doctor day one is that it also limits the amount of people that the Gnosia can kill perfectly, right? Because no matter what, somebody has to die, and if you kill your opposite, you pretty much out yourself as Gnosia, except in the case of AC Follower, which is going to come a little bit later, right? Instead of 5 people being able to be killed, you have to cover both guard duties, right? You have to cover at least one of the counterclaimed roles and the other, and you pretty much have all your cards on the table, except for maybe one Gnosia who may be hiding out without revealing any roles or anything like that, right?
I get you. So I guess my next question, as we're on this, in our previous 15-man, we had 4 Gnosia. Do you think that extra Gnosia would have helped out? Well, I mean, definitely the extra Gnosia would have helped out, but would that still change your opinion on this?
With 4, I think it becomes even more paramount. I guess unless you have like a selfish Gnosia, right? Especially in the anime, I think you can be a lot more greedy since it's like you only have one life, right? Every other character, especially if they're Gnosia, has a reason to be like, hey, take the fall for no spread. I think that does make it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, it's just they're changing parameters. They're trying to make things a bit spicy. You know, they gotta, I guess they want to switch it up. I don't know what to say, but you know, I hear your argument and I can't really fault it for anything, you know.
It's the boring stats argument.
it's fine. It's fine, you know. There's a reason why we have like multiple opinions and options anyway, to make things a little bit more dynamic. Well, of course, getting back into it, Shigemichi just says some offhanded thing to Yuri, be like, hey, you gotta speak up, man. Yo, I'm human. It was like so offhanded like thing. I was like, oh yeah, that's probably something Shigemichi would say. Maybe, we don't really know. And while the characters are still like going around, Yuriko's like, I'll put myself in a cold sleep. All the characters are like, huh? I mean, we beat down a human. And then Yuriko's like, okay, so pick one of yourselves. You might get a human, you might get a Gnosia. We put Yuriko in a cold sleep.
Bro, when I tell you, I fell in my chair. I screamed. I was so mad. I was like, Yuriko, why? Why? Setsu, say something. Ren, do something. Don't let her do this.
Oh, it gets worse. It gets so much worse. Because now Yuri is with Yuriko as Yuriko's being put in a cold sleep. And Yuri's just asking these questions, and Yuriko's like, this is no simple game. Because there is the anti-cosmic follower, AC follower for short, that's present within the group. Huh? The AC follower lie like a Gnosia and make false reports if claiming to be an engineer or a doctor. They're still human. So if you engineer and pick them out, they come up human. Now, I only have 2 questions to ask. Why? How? And I want you people to know, if you are an anime only, if you've never played the game, this reveal of this anti-cosmic follower makes no sense.
You're kind of right. This is the worst way they could have ever introduced AC follower, right?
There is,
in essence,
there is only one line, and I think you're gonna say it at some point, but I'll let you explain. Go ahead.
Okay. So, like you said, AC follower is essentially like Ogre from Blood on the Clock Tower, except you're always evil. You don't know who the Gnosia are, but you know you win with them. You want them to win because that's like your mentality, right? That's your religion, right? And when I tell you that this is the worst place it could have been brought up, sort of as like a random dialogue bar with Yuriko as she's going into cold sleep, instead of Gina's loop, where we're actually talking about like her mother getting put into like Nos and like her offer to like join her. That's pretty much exactly what AC followers are like. It's like that cult-like mentality, right? Mm-hmm. Was really disappointing. Really disappointing.
So that is the line of thinking, is that the only way that the AC follower makes sense is because we did see Gina's loop. We know of Gina's mother. We know of Yuriko's shrine mating group, the people there, the cyber eyes people. The problem is, I myself, knowing all of these other 13 characters, if we're just assuming this group only, I cannot see and fathom these other 13 characters as somebody who is this anti-cosmic follower. I cannot see it. The only person that I can see theoretically, and that's like so backwards, is Gina, because of her mother. I can't see Rockio, who was that smart to like believe in like this BS. I can't see someone like Stella to be an AC follower because it's a proxy for a computer. The computer is smart. I can't see Jonas because the dude has been put in the cold sleep so many times he probably doesn't know anything about anything. I can't see Remnan because dude's so afraid of things. Like there's a lot of outliers in people that I can't conceivably see any of them believing in whatever this religion is or what this AC follower is supposed to represent.
No, I definitely hear you there, right? And how do I start this? I think the first thing I should say, context from the game, I'm pretty sure it will be stated in the next episode, but those who are sympathetic to the Gnosia, anti-cosmic followers, or maybe just being like, oh, hey, why don't we just like let the Gnosia live, right? Those types of people, they can get executed on the spot in some planets, specifically for like showing any sympathy to the Gnosia, right? I feel like even if you didn't want to do it during Gina's loop, where I feel it would have been most appropriate, there was plenty of space in like the earlier loops where we could have like a super sympathetic Yuri being like, wait, but like, Setsu's Gnosia, but she's so chill, and Gina's Gnosia, but she's so chill. Can't we just talk about it? And we can have like somebody like Setsu or Stella, one of the knowledgeable characters, pull up and be like, bro, that's a terrible idea. Are you anti-cosmic follower? And that exact thing happens in game, right? Pretty much bar for bar with Chippy, right? Yeah, it's a lot. And this is totally disregarding the fact that it completely changes the game on its days. Now that we have just like this random saboteur on your side, you know?
Exactly. The only way that I can see this AC follower rule being like implemented nicely is either last loop with Gina, or well, the previous loop with Gina, I should say. A lot of loops happened beforehand. Jesus Christ. That
Yeah, right?
at the end of this episode, or not end at the end, but like sometime during this episode, without having prior knowledge, because a lot of things happened in this loop that seems off and weird, which would make us think, okay, something weird is going on. Let's try to figure this out. And the only other way I can see it being like implemented is like, but more hinted at is way back when we first saw Gnosia Setsu, and then Yuri helping Gnosia Setsu. If at some point at the end of it, we kind of see Yuri's kind of POV screen somewhere in the bottom left saying AC follower, that would have been like the greatest thing ever for all of you game heads. And then something for us anime heads to like look at, AC follower, what does that even mean?
Oh, like secret AC follow. Oh, that would be fire.
See, put me on the team, guys. Put me on the team. Hire me up. I'm ready to go.
And that's not even like too far out there for like a secret role, quote unquote, because that's spoilers. But no sweat.
I mean, of course, Yuri wasn't like that role in particular, but at the end of it, you know, we could see something like a glitch in the system, something like popping in that says AC follower, and then you game heads could be like gushing.
Assigned in like after the loop is over, pretty much. You mean?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so cool. That'd be so sick, man. Oh my god, cinema. Put him on the team next season, guys. Gnosia 2 put Zoran on the team, right?
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. It's just if you need things to flow and you want to drip feed things in, that's kind of thing. But hindsight's 2020. That's at the end of the day. We're just critiquing and criticizing and giving criticisms, and we're trying to see things. We still like it. It's just we had something going.
Yeah, like I'm just a little mad. Not mad, but I'm just a little bit put off by how much telling Yuriko has to do for this role, right? Rather than maybe leading into it or making it come up more naturally. I do think it's kind of funny that Yuriko is just like, hey, this role exists. Okay, bye. And then goes into cold sleep like it's not her business.
I will tell you everything when you survive the loop. By the way, I'm going to cold sleep. So, are you going to come out? Or one of your other people going to tell me?
Yeah, for all the nerd rage that I have for that as a game player, I will say, if you do want to live, going into cold sleep is a pretty good idea. Since we know we can turn it off mid-flight or whatever.
But that whole related tangent aside on everything, because we survived day one, we get to rack our brain over this information that was given up that we just did. And yes, this is what Yuri was thinking about. There's these two random people from another timeline are trying to help him out figure out what his AC follower business is. And Comet stops Yuri in the hallway, and Comet's like, "Yo, I got something to tell you." So we go to Yuri's room, and Comet says, "Hey, I just have a hunch. Shigemichi was lying when he said he was human." Which, we kind of know that Comet is like a huncher. She does have these baseless vibes, votes, and she says she didn't want to come out with it because if she accuses someone, it'll throw suspicion on her, which makes sense. But Yuri thanks her for the information, but refuses to help her on the notion because both of them could be Gnosia. That makes sense. We also know that Comet is a terrible liar. So if she's not confident, I'll say it like that, she'll struggle a lot more when trying to come forward with something. Which is kind of this whole ordeal. We already know what Gnosia Comet is. We already know who human Comet sounds like. This is a little bit leaning towards Gnosia Comet.
Yeah, just a smidgen. What I thought was interesting here is we've seen Yuri have really good insight, right? In terms of being able to find out lies. I'm trying to look back, and I don't think he's caught a lie from anybody who's really, really good yet.
That is another good observation. That whole Gnosia sound effect has not been turned on for a very long time. The last one that was done, I think it was a joke one. I know Comet is able to tell with Yuri. That happened. But I think that was the only one outside of that. So after that, Yuri gets in the kitchen and starts cooking up some food. Gina comes in and start talking and have a little bonding moment. And we gotta have a moment where Yuri just fumbles the ball again. Gina's like, "Yeah, I'm kind of bad at cooking." And Yuri lets it slip of what he knows in the very first loop, saying, "Oh, it's not too salty." And Gina kind of pauses and go, "Huh?" Yuri goes like, "Oh, I mean, Gina's like, "Are you lying?" Yuri's like, well, and then he gets out. He stumbles his way out. In the hallway, he's just leaning against the wall, hand banging on the wall, like, stupid. I'm like, yes, stop talking to people like you know them already. Remember, dude, this is the first time you've seen them. Every single time you wake up. Yuri
is such a social butterfly, man. I get it. I do those slips too. And I remember what I was meaning to say earlier, which is 15-man loops, they're relationship management 101. That's 14 different connections you have to maintain at one time. And I think, Yuri, that's brutal. When Comet came to talk to Yuri and get him on her side to vote out Shigemichi, I think The smart game move is to never reject an alliance, right? That's what you learn in Survivor, Big Brother, Blood on the Clock Tower, if you're like evil like that. But Yuri is just so earnest and like open that he keeps making these small mistakes. I think it's so cute.
Well, Yuri has to lock in. He probably doesn't make another mistake yet. As back in his room after that little fumble with Gina, he has to think about, all right, well, who do I want to investigate? And he's thinking between Comet and Shiimichi. And then he remembers what Setsu said about Kakrushka. Warp happens. Otome gets cyberized. Both confirmed humans are now gone. And we get into day 2. Day 2 goes a little smooth as these things go by. We don't really need to cut through the fluff. But Yuri comes forward as engineer. Then Jonas starts to come up with his JoJo persona as he comes forward as engineer. Yuri investigated Kakrushka. Kakrushka's human. Jonas makes the safe play saying Setsu is human. And at this point, now Yuri is thinking, okay, because there's an AC follower, now I have to think that possibly Jonas is an AC follower, while also either Comet or Shiimichi's being an AC follower, because they all might be human, they all might be Gnosia in one way or another. Then Rakio, of all people, the GOAT, presses Yuri, saying like, okay, what's your reason for investigating Kakrushka? Which catches Yuri off guard. And he stutters, fumbles, and stumbles his way into saying, Kakrushka barely contributed anything. She didn't say anything. And everybody else on the crew bought into it. Somehow. Don't ask me why. And then Rakio says, all right, Jonas, what about you? And he says, well, Setsu's been leading the meeting. She's been at the head of it. And to which I say, not really.
Wait, no.
All
Really.
all Setsu says like, hey, let's begin the meeting. Hey, let's begin the meeting. And everybody else is like talking at each other, going at each other. And Setsu's just laying back, just chilling. Am I wrong?
I mean, you're not wrong, but starting the meeting is a very important rule, you know what I mean?
Any of these characters can start the meeting. That's all I'm saying. And they have been able to. Just Setsu saying, hey, let's start the meeting. Like, somebody needs to begin it. It's Setsu. If you're telling me that Setsu was leading the meeting, then Setsu needs to have a lot more lines and dialogue. Setsu not only needs to say, okay, let's begin the meeting. Hey, Jonas, what do you think? Hey, Yuri, what do you think? Oh, that's pretty neat. Hey, Rakio, what do you think about what Yuri said? Oh, okay. Well, here's what I think about it. Okay, now I'm done. Now I'm done talking. Hey, Remnan, you need to speak up. Like, that's leading the meeting, That's saying, let's start, and not saying anything else. It's not leading.
Yeah.
If I was in this universe, I'd be cooked.
I think the reasons end up like balancing out because Setsu is like the most quote unquote authoritative, right, in the room bar for Yuriko, who's already gone, right? So Jonas gets a pass there, and Kakrushka, and the out of character joke is of course, Kakrushka is literally mute, so it's hard for them to like contribute even with their expressions. Like in real life, we would all just be like, "Wow, that's really dog shit reasoning." But like in universe, it's pretty accurate, pretty funny.
It's what you say like does make sense on the 10, which you look like one layer deep. You're like, all right, both of these guys just fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
Oh man! But after that, Chippy speaks up, saying like, "Hey, Comet, don't you have something that you want to say?" In which then Chippy says out loud what Comet told Yuri. So now Comet went to Chippy when Yuri denied her of that help. And Chippy fully supports Comet because of course they have a past relationship. Chippy took Comet onto his ship. And then Rakio, the GOAT, throws a wrench to it saying, hey, Comet just might be lying, which makes sense. So now we have a two-way vote between Shigemichi and Comet. Of course, Shigemichi just tries to deny it, but Shikimichi's just like yelling, yo, why are you wanting me? Why is it me? Shikimichi needs to do better. I'm sorry, man. You're bad at the game.
Bro, y'all ain't got no proof. Y'all can't put a homie behind bars.
Shut up, Shikimichi. Go into cold sleep. 8 to 5. You're good. So yeah, that's that. Yuri is safe to go down another day. Goes back into his room. Kikushka knocks on the door, pays him a visit, and it's like, oh my god, here we go. But no, this is actually good. And it's a sweet moment. They go to the hologram room, and Kikushka, through sign language, reveals that she is the guardian angel. Because Yuri chose to investigate her, called her human, which then he interprets that Kikushka now trusts him, and now Kikushka will protect the human engineer, who she probably thinks. So Yuri is safe for now, and Yuri can do what he wants. And you know what? They hug it out. And you have to remember, in the previous loop, to where Yuri got caught in 4K talking to Kikushka, he was the guardian angel, and Kikushka was the engineer. So the roles were reversed. But unfortunately, Rockio wasn't outside catching them. So they're safe in this loop.
This time.
Jonas in shambles.
About this. Oh my god. Bro, now that you brought up Jonas, I love that Jonas's first line is like, oh, nobody wants to pull up as engineer or doctor. I guess silence is beautiful. Just like Kikushka, I was like, damn, okay. King shit. I wanted to ask you, what did you make of Kikushka's hug and pat, telling that Yuri will understand eventually who she is?
I don't get that. I really don't get that. Because the real headcanon, like tinfoil hat theory guy in me is saying, like, that's Manon. That's Manon trying to be nice. Quotes around trying or something like that.
The quotes.
Because I can't see how Kikushka is that versed in... Well, no, I can't say that. No. All these characters have some kind of, like, buzzed theory or idea that something is going on in these loops, and Yuri is involved. Or maybe Kikushka's just hugging it out because, oh my god, I have a savior, somebody's safe, everybody's gonna get out, it's fine. Because that's Arya, that's the wife. That also could be Manon because, oh, thank god, I have somebody that's gonna get rid of these Gnosias so I can finally get Remnan and destroy everybody on the ship. I don't know. I don't know.
I get it, and it's very much one of those things where it's like, Kikushka is such a black box, right? Arya is completely gone. She's like a miracle doll, right? Who can like emote perfectly and like convey extreme ideas with just gestures, right? I don't even know where I was going with that. I was about to say some crazy stuff.
I don't know.
She's one of those characters you can theorize about, like, and nothing will feel too off base because like her very existence feels impossible, right?
Exactly. And we don't know just how she functions, and she doesn't speak or anything. She just makes gestures. We don't know how the doll functions. If we had an episode on that, that'd be cool. But of course, you know, Jonas is gonna clamor up about it. What can you do?
Yeah. I'm just here to see Kikushka smiling, bro. I'm here for it.
But warp happens. Gina gets cyberized. And now, in our next day, day 3, now the doctors come forward. Because why would they come forward when Yuriko, one of the confirmed humans, gets put in a cold sleep? Why would they also come forward on day 2 if they know that... Oh, no. Yuriko went in a cold sleep. That's fine. Why would they come forward? Oh no, I'm sorry. Shit. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Oh yeah, you had it.
No, yeah. Now they get to come forward on Shigemichi. While Rakio is explaining the doctors can now come forward, Rakio comes forward as doctor. While also Remnan does as well in the beginning before Rakio explained. So now we both have our doctors, Remnan and Rakio. And we have our engineers being Yuri and Jonas. And we now have Kikushka as our secret guardian angel that nobody knows yet except for Yuri. Doctors both say Shigemichi is human. Okay, Shigemichi confirmed human. If Rakio is a Gnosia, Rakio we know is the GOAT, playing it smart. Let's go. Jonas takes his turn first as engineer because he's like, hey, it's fair that you went first last time. Now I go first. Huh. W-mans. Jonas says Comet is Gnosia. Yuri says Comet is Gnosia. So they both investigated her. And Comet gets put in a cold sleep. Interesting.
Cold world, bro.
So we'll get into this later. We'll put a pin in this later. So after that, Yuri goes back to his room and he says this one line. Why does this feel so easy? And me in my head thinking, is it? And Yuri goes back to his room and he starts contemplating the loop and what happened and what happened and everything that's done so far. And at the end of the episode, I decided to, do my own little theory, not theory, but like follow along with everything and write things out. And war happens. No one died. Now we have to think, if Kakrushka is a guardian angel, she protected Yuri. They tried to go after Yuri, but Yuri's safe. But now both the doctors come forward and say, Comet is Gnosia. Cool. Comet is now confirmed Gnosia. And Yuri, coming up first with this engineer report, Yuri says, Rakio is Gnosia. And internally, he's saying, I win. And the episode ends. Now.
Oh my god, Yuri, stand on business, gang.
Now. Let's get in here. Okay, I do want to give two important visual storytelling beats. One is at the end, of course, where Rakio has that wicked smile saying, oh, you think you know everything, huh? So, and the second one is when they say that nobody died, there is this screenshot of Jonas with a wicked smile saying like, yeah, we get one day to continue. And he has this wicked smile and he's looking at Yuri. So of course, now that makes sense from a visual story perspective that Jonas is evil. But of course the other characters don't know. And I've done all of the loop and seeing things out. And what I can now confirm as of right now is, because as far as the characters are now left in the loop, we have Setsu, Yuri, Rakio, Jonas, Remnan, Chippy, Kakrushka, SQ, Shaming, and Stella. Because Yuri and Jonas said Setsu, Jonas said Setsu is human at one point, and so Setsu is human, that we can soft confirm. Because Comet is voted good, because Comet was voted as Gnosia and been outed by the engineers and also outed as the doctors. So that's one confirmed Gnosia. Because we are Yuri and we now have this perfect information, we know now that Rakio is Gnosia. All that's left is figuring out the third, which, if we go by the simple logic that the Gnosia claim the other roles, Comet didn't claim a role, but Jonas did. So Jonas is the other Gnosia. However, we still have the one secret role, the AC follower. Now, if y'all have been following along this entire time, to shorthand it, because Comet questioned Shigemichi on day one, when Shigemichi said that he was human, and we now know the existence of this AC follower role, we first put suspicion on Shigemichi, because if we assume Comet is human, and Comet is the best insight machine ever, Shigemichi is his AC follower, and they'll show up as human. Later on day 3, we learn that, Shigemichi is human. However, on day 2, because Jonas comes out of the engineer, we now have to think, he might be AC follower, because he might be lying as human. But unfortunately, because we now know that Shigemichi is human, ever since he's been confirmed by the doctors, we now have to think on day 3, okay, is Comet is Gnosia or AC follower? Or is Jonas Gnosia an AC follower? Of course, we voted out Comet, and now we know that Comet is 100% Gnosia. Now we come on the day 4. Yuri says he's win. Yuri says, hey, I win. But there's still doubt on Jonas being the AC follower. It's not 100% yet. And like you said, JD, this might be a possibility that Yuri loses this loop because of this factor.
Yeah, especially when you have this volatile role with no real means to get them out other than having them claim a role, right? And even then, like, a strong AC follower is one who's able to socially manipulate a scene, right? Think your Kukrushka, think your SQ, think your Xiaoming sometimes, right? It becomes really difficult to lock down a victory because you base your information off of an assumption that may not be true in the end, even if it gets you good results in the loop. It's rough. I'm really not sure if Yuri's got this one in the bag, and I don't know if like the writers are setting up for a win, how they're gonna get there, and that makes it like a really, really interesting watch.
Yeah, because of course we're going up against the GOAT Rockio, and we all know Rockio is really puppeteering everything. Rockio got that Gnosia win against Yuri. I kind of want to see it again, to be fair.
No, I laugh, but I kind of do too. I want to see this salty run back from like a million loops back where Rakio won by like counterclaiming Guardian Angel. This is going to be a battle of the Titans here.
Exactly.
That and who else would get one of their Gnosia allies to like just throw themselves to the window to get somebody else eliminated? Nobody's that mean besides Rakio, yeah. Rakio. And it's even worse because Comet as Gnosia, when she was with Yuri, she was like, feel free to abandon me if it feels like I'm cooked, right? So like Rakio being like, hey, you're gonna kill yourself here and we're gonna win, okay? Trust. I can see it. It's too close. It's too real.
Everything is lined up. Now, at the beginning, I did say that I wanted to bring back up Setsu. Now, this isn't like anything bad on Setsu. Maybe. I do want to point this out because now we're at this point where we're focusing on Yuriko, and Yuriko has kind of hijacked Setsu's role in this second half. Do you think now that Yuriko is gonna be waking up Yuri, and Yuriko is gonna be taking over Setsu's role because Yuriko actually knows everything that's going on? And in the first half, we had Setsu, and of course some other people because we were trying to like get used to like the other roles.
Honestly, from my opinion, as both a game head and seeing like the scenes in the anime so far, hell no, there's no shot. Yuriko's just here to have fun.
I mean, it could be this because now we're getting into like a major plot point on where did Yuriko come from. We're trying to figure out this Gnosia business. Something is Yuriko is connected. Her whole shrine maiden cult religion thing is related. It could be the fact that Yuriko is going to be waking up Yuri and kind of helping him out, because Setsu doesn't know anything, or at least the Setsus that are going to be waking up Yuri won't know anything. So that might make sense from a story's perspective of Yuriko now leading Setsu, Yuri leading Yuri, Yuriko leading Yuri rather than Setsu leading Yuri.
I do want to say, whose idea was it to have Yuri and Yuriko on like the same sort of cast? That is a mouthful, putting them in the same sentence.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I had made the note internally in my head where I had to be like Yuriko.
Yeah, I think Yuriko is gonna be Yuri's next carrot on a stick, right? Where it's like he's chasing and he's chasing and he's chasing, and sometimes he touches it, and sometimes it's just way too far. But it's gonna be the thing that drives Yuri's next few loops, or I should say two, right? Because this guy's speed running. Let's be so for real.
Yeah, I don't know. This is like a bad thing to think about, but doesn't it feel like that Yuriko has been like the final boss this whole entire time, and now that Yuriko is coming out saying, "Hey, I'm right here. Focus on me." By the way, I'm gonna go over here.
I mean, honestly, the second she appeared on screen the first time in the anime, and this is without me being a game head, where she's saying, Yuri, go and be frozen, and stuff like, oh, this is a world of the mad gods, and you are the cause of it. It makes Yuri collapse on the ground. I think it's open. I think she's like the Darth Vader of this series right now. And she's just been able to chill out and hide it because like she's either not in the loop or not being focused on.
If that's the case, then why be... I guess now I'm thinking is, what is Yuriko's motivation now? What does Yuriko even care? I think that's my issue now.
That's... It's hard to pin down, right? Because even at the start of this loop, she's using pretty much all the terminology that the loopers do, Setsu, Yuri, and it's Rakio also has like that same level of knowledge, but that's sort of expected because he's Gillies, right? Yuriko was like far more core about her knowledge of like Yuri's loops and like the setup of the game and stuff like that. It's almost like she's portrayed as like an administrator here or something like that.
Yeah, that's why I keep saying like she's like the omniscient person, the being. So it's like, yes, I know everything, seemingly. Yes, I know what's going on. So why are you So if you're, I don't know if she's stuck in it and wants to leave, or is she stuck in it and accepting the fact. But she sees someone struggling to go through and it's not bothering to help.
Like I said earlier, man, I think she's just having fun. Like, I'm pretty sure they covered it in a previous episode, but she's an ex-shrine maiden, right? She's like a refugee from the Hoshibun, in which Gnosia need her dead, and like the allies of Gnos would also want her dead, right? So that's probably part of the reason why she's so like coy, so like lighthearted about these things, because like she's a dead woman walking either way. You know what I mean?
I guess that would make sense that she doesn't need to go up to Yuri because Yuri might be Gnosia and she might get eliminated by that way. But also by the other logic, if she's very like well-knowing and very insightful and knowledgeable, if in point she finds a knowledgeable Yuri, I guess she was just waiting until Yuri gets to a point to where he kind of knows everything. And now, well, not knows enough to suspect some things, and now she can come forward. It's like, okay, now that you know this much, now we can play a game so you can learn more.
I can see it.
That sounds so bad when I say it, by the way. the last part, not like everything beforehand.
Let's play a game. Let's test your mastery of the material here.
But I know. But I want to see you squirm first.
Exactly.
Who's worse? I was gonna say, who's worse, this Yuriko or late game Setsu?
Oh, oh no, bruh. My two goats. I'm gonna say it. Everybody's gonna forgive me. It's late game Setsu. Oh no. Wait, no, I'm lying. It's Yuriko. This Yuriko.
Either one you pick is gonna be a bad option.
I know, but I think if you look at the whole picture, it's definitely gotta be Yuriko.
Alright, man.
Well, Soren, yeah. What are you rating this one?
Rating this episode on a scale of 1 to 10? Oh, do you really want to know my answer?
I do.
I usually don't rate individual episodes, but if you really want it, it's a 6.
No, that's pretty solid. I was thinking 7.
Yeah, I mean, I dig the we are actually playing the game. That's what keeps it high enough. Unfortunately, it's the fact that the implementation of the AC follower role, Yuriko putting herself in the cold sleep while also telling Yuri to survive, and that she'll tell him at the end. Yuriko's whole very vague omniscient thing that's being put around really brings it down. Just really brings it down. The fact that Yuriko is existing and doing all these things just brings it down. Otherwise, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. That's what it really boils down to, man. The whole first 8 minutes of the episode, you'd be like, dang, what is really going on, man?
There's a lot of head scratchers in there, right? Um, I think my biggest like loss point was definitely how AC Follower was introduced and explained, right? I think they did a good job integrating like the gameplay in. I remember last episode we were really hoping for like a heavy gameplay loop, and this is definitely it, right? I guess we should have specified like good gameplay a little bit, but I'm not too bothered about that. When it comes down to Yuriko doing Yuriko things, I guess you can sort of make excuses for her, right? There's still 7 more episodes to go, I'm pretty sure, unless they do like a special 8th episode or something like that. Um, but yeah, it's a serviceable episode. I think what follows immediately afterwards is gonna really like determine like where I land on this one. For right now, it's gonna be a 7.
That's pretty much it. We just need more nation going forward. But other than that, let us know what y'all think in the comments below. Let us know what you think about this this administrator Yuriko and what she brings to the whole table, if anything at all. As you can probably tell, I am now focusing my attention on Yuriko. Setsu, you're fine. You stay over there. I'll get back to you in a second. Let me handle this shrine maiden right here. I'm sorry, ex-shrine maiden. Let me be politically correct.
True.
If nothing else, I hope all of you have a good day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. And I hope your day is just a little bit better than it already is. With that, we'll catch y'all in the next loop. Hopefully not dying.
Yeah, if you want to guarantee that, make sure you back up Kukrushka during your loops. You never know who's going to be Guardian Angel.
Peace, y'all.
Bye-bye.